Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 News at 6:30.
U.S. immigration officials made a record-breaking bust in Mississippi. Thank you for joining us on NBC 16 News at 6:30. I am Alexis Thrower. Close to 700 undocumented immigrants were taken into custody yesterday. John Lawrence reports.
Buses full of detainees, all captured in what a Mississippi official says might be the largest single-state immigration enforcement operation in U.S. history.
Now, while we are a nation of immigrants, more than that, we are first and foremost a nation of laws.
Immigration officials took about 680 people into custody at 7 food processing plants in 6 communities in the central part of the state.
We do have a lot of immigrants here in Canton, and I don't know whether they're legal or illegal.
These arrests come after a year-long criminal investigation by Homeland Security officials. ICE officials say the agency has previously worked with school liaisons in finding placement for children whose parents are detained.
I just hope that everything works out and everybody can have their families back, because this is a very hard time for everybody.
Pico Foods, Inc., the company that owns a number of facilities where the arrests were made, said in a statement that it's cooperating with officials. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Jackson's mayor, Chokwe Antar Lamumba, said these raids were dehumanizing and ineffective. Canton's mayor said he was worried about the children and the impact of the arrest on the local economy. Some of the undocumented immigrants have already been released, according to ICE. The country's #2 intelligence official is resigning. President Donald Trump says Sue Gordon is stepping down effective August 15th. In his announcement, Trump noted that Gordon's last day coincides with the retirement of Dan Coats, who has been serving as the director of national intelligence. Under normal protocol, Gordon would have become acting director after Coats resigned, but news emerged last month that Gordon would probably not be chosen, and that administration officials were reviewing whether they could legally choose an acting director outside the line of succession. In a tweet sent this evening, Trump said the current director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joseph McGuire, will serve as acting intel director beginning August 15th. Former FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe has filed a lawsuit against the Department of Justice. McCabe, who was fired in March 2018, claims his termination was unlawful retaliation for his refusal to pledge allegiance to a single man. The complaint alleges that it was President Trump's unconstitutional plan and scheme to discredit and remove DOJ and FBI employees who were deemed to be his opponents because they were not politically loyal to him. Former Attorney General Jeff Sessions fired McCabe only hours before his 50th birthday and retirement, when his full law enforcement pension would have been vested. McCabe said he is entitled to his full law enforcement pension and all other benefits, privileges, and rights currently being withheld. Attorney General William Barr, the FBI, and current FBI Director Christopher Wray are also named in the lawsuit. The man known as the Hazel Dell rapist is back in Clark County. He's being resentenced for his crimes. In 1982, David Sterling pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree rape and to 1 count of assault. He received 5 life sentences for those crimes, but was sent to a mental hospital instead. Sterling escaped and went on to commit several armed bank robberies before being captured. Now, at age 74, Sterling's initial punishment is being restored. He will serve the rest of his life behind bars. On to a first look at weather. NBC 16's meteorologist Josh Cozart joins us now in the Weather Center. Josh, cloudy conditions may be overhead now, but rain will return to our forecast. What impacts could that have on our weekend?
Well, Alexis, a lot of people are out there with the Douglas County Fair and many other events all across Western Oregon this weekend, so maybe keep the umbrella close at hand because cloudy skies are overhead now in Roseburg, and that will be a sight that we continue to see over the next couple of days or so. But out towards the Douglas County Fair, yeah, some pretty nice conditions out there as far as temperatures go. However, mostly cloudy skies will remain on tap for the rest of our evening tonight. And you can see on our radar and satellite those mostly cloudy conditions over the western regions of our states, but just a few isolated thunderstorms over the Bend area, not going to be having any impacts on those of us along the I-5 or coastal areas. But we continue to be concerned about the fire weather warnings that remain for a good portion of Douglas County, Coos County, and a very small sliver of Lane County until our Saturday evening. That's for the threat of dry lightning, as severe weather remains a threat for a lot of us in the yellow. So I'll have the breakdown and the timing of those potentially strong to severe thunderstorms in my full weather segment in just a few minutes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Josh. There's a new international study out that suggests climate change is threatening the world's food supply. The United Nations report, written by more than 100 scientists, warns that climate change is dramatically degrading the land, and how people use that land is also creating problems. The report finds that global warming is already threatening our dinner tables with more expensive, scarcer, and even less nutritious food. But scientists say it's not a dire situation just yet, and there are things we can do as consumers to save the planet from a far warmer future. It starts by changing the way people eat, grow food, and manage forests. The report calls for major changes in both eating habits and farming methods. Experts say reducing meat production would ease the strains it puts on land and water supplies. Also, eating a more plant-based diet such as fruits and vegetables and seeds will actually reduce carbon emissions by 15%. Reducing food waste, no-till agriculture, and targeted fertilizer applications can also help the impact of climate change on the planet. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife has enacted temporary regulations in Coos County. NBC 16's Lauren Negretti has more on how it will affect the fishery.
The new regulations are part of a coastal multi-species conservation plan with a sliding scale.
In years when those Chinook returns are down, we'll have bag limits, seasons, open areas that might be somewhat restricted in order to protect and make sure that we get back enough spawners.
Gray says this is the second year of low Chinook returns. Now they're cutting back to 1 wild fish per person per day and 5 for the season. It used to be 20 for the season out of the Coos, Coquille, Elk, or Sixes rivers.
Some anglers in the community are concerned with the impacts of the regulations.
Nicole Shipman says her guide business will lose profit with the bag limits and Coos River closures at Rook Higgins and Myrtle Tree. They don't have many options.
You know, staying down in the lower Coos Basin or not fishing at all, because we're not going to take our clients out if we're not going to be able to target the fish and be able to let them experience a good day of fishing, and that's what we are about.
And there's concern for the domino effect on nearby businesses.
Like, I know TNT Market is a big one. A lot of people stop in there, and also all our local gas stations, our hotel room.
Gray says ODFNW is trying to protect the fish and improve the catch in the future. Reporting in Coos County, I'm Lauren Negretti.
ODFW will reevaluate next session. The regulations do not apply to hatchery salmon, only wild salmon. Some people in Leeburg have been living without water for weeks after their wells dried up. The nearby Leeburg Canal, which was replenishing well water in the area, was drained last year for repairs. We spoke to Leeburg resident Kate Glenn, who says she had to spend around $10,000 to build a deeper well after going 6 weeks without water. She says her family is lucky they were able to borrow the money, and she worries about her neighbors who still don't have water.
They literally cannot afford a new well. They're getting drinking water, and they are showering at other people's houses.
An eWeb spokesperson told us the canal would be up and running again by 2020 at the earliest. Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 6:30, Angelina Dixon tells us how drivers and bicyclists can be safer at night while on the road. Plus, Junction City is having a blast as today marked opening day of the Scandinavian Festival. And if you see breaking news, give us a call at 541-393-KMTR. That's 5687. Or send an email to newsdesk@kmtr.com.
NBC 16 News at 6:30.
Last weekend, a woman died after getting hit by a car while riding her bike. Eugene police say the driver was not impaired at the time, but the accident took place at night on Green Hill Road. There's not a lot of street lights or bicycle lanes on that stretch of road. NBC 16's Angelina Dixon tells us how drivers and bicyclists can be safer at night.
the first thing they're going to process is there's something there.
That's what Jeff Reynolds says drivers should say when they see bicyclists at night, because by law, bicyclists should be able to be seen at night. Reynolds says there are options.
So we've got a kit here. I wouldn't say this is the best, but this is the most affordable. It's $55 for an ultra bright 400 lumen front light and an ultra bright 65 lumen rear light.
Having lights on your bike is only a simple common sense solution that should not be neglected. Shane Rhodes, Transportation Options Coordinator with the City of Eugene, says speed is also a factor drivers should keep track of. Rhodes is working with the city to reduce injuries and fatalities on the road with a project called Vision Zero Eugene.
So we're doing things like changing the built environment, trying to improve pedestrian safety by increasing lighting, increasing the number of safe crossings.
He says this project will be more productive through education to anyone who moves about on the road.
Yeah, there's a whole crew of people in the Whitaker that have recumbent bikes that are just lit up. I think they have small like batteries that just light up tons of lights. And yeah, there's no excuse to say that you couldn't see them.
Reporting in Eugene, I'm Angelina Dixon.
A swipe of your smartphone is all it takes now to board a bus at the Lane Transit District. It's the start of a new program called Touch Pass. Swipe your smartphone with the QR code and take your seat. The Touch Pass Transit app is the electronic portal that makes this happen. It went online August 1st on the LTD system. 500 customers so far have downloaded the app. It allows riders to pay for digital bus passes. LTD signed a 6-year contract with a California company called Delarock for just under $3 million for the system.
You think the cost will be worth it? Is this all worth it?
Absolutely. I think the convenience, the data that we can collect so we can really understand how people move around our system better will help us build a better system.
The smartphone app works by swiping the QR code on the phone in front of a reader machine as you board a bus. Delarock also has contracts with Rogue Valley Transit in Medford and the bus system in Bend for the same program. New technology is now helping keep people's memories alive with the scan of a code. Musgrove's Family Mortuary says funerals have become much more personalized in recent years. QR codes are placed on tombstones, and anyone can walk up, scan the code, and watch the video tribute to that person's life story, using technology to help people remember their loved ones.
But we are able to use it to get more information out about a life. And it does mean so much more than just a name and a couple of dates. It really it brings that person back to life for that moment.
Visit our website at NBC16.com to hear more from Jeff Musgrove and another employee as they express how this has impacted the lives of locals. It's opening day at the Scandinavian Festival in Junction City. NBC 16's Christelle Kumwe stopped by the event and has our story.
It's my honor to declare the festival open for business.
It's that time of year again. Time for Junction City to celebrate its Scandinavian heritage.
To me, it's more than just the Scandinavian culture. To me, this event is something that brings out some of the finest aspects of humanity.
Matthew Nelson, president of the festival, says it's brought to you by hardworking, passionate volunteers.
This is one of the finest examples of community involvement that you'll see anywhere in the nation.
Festival goers can expect local organizations and businesses providing traditional food, attire, and much more at the 59th annual event.
We get to be exposed to other cultures and food. And who doesn't like a meat pie? How could you pass that up?
The event is free and a great attraction, bringing tourists and visitors to a city that's home to about 6,000 people.
We estimate that it'd be anywhere between 100 and 120,000 people here on an annual basis.
So grab your neighbors, friends, and dancing shoes and head on over to the Scandinavian Festival.
Now, these elephant ears are really, really good. The festival kicked off Thursday and runs through Sunday, so you have an opportunity to check out all the amazing food, polka music, and of course culture and community. In Junction City, I'm Christelle Kummer reporting.
Turning to weather now, NBC 16's meteorologist Josh Cozart is standing by for a look at what's coming up in your full forecast. Josh?
Hey, Alexis. We are under a weather alert day for tomorrow, and that just means that you need to stay weather aware for the potential for some severe thunderstorms in western Oregon. How about those details and the timing coming up next?
Meteorologist Josh Cozart.
Well, it was another mild day all across western Oregon today with mostly cloudy skies overhead, and that continues to be a trend at this hour as we take a look to the south in Eugene. But beautiful conditions out there as far as the temperatures go, but those fall-like temperatures, they'll last for a couple more days before some more summer heat returns, but also the threat for rain showers could put a damper on some of your outdoor activities, and also the threat for some strong to severe thunderstorms are also starting to crop back up in our neck of the woods just in time to round out our work week. But conditions mostly cloudy over western Oregon with the exception of a few thunderstorms over the Bend area. Those are not going to have any impacts on those of us along the valleys or out towards the coastal areas, but we still need to see those rainy conditions to really put a damper on these drought conditions, with the yellow at dry, abnormally dry, and the light brown or beige is going to be where we see moderate drought conditions at this point in time. But rain is just around the corner before tonight. Mostly dry for a lot of us, mostly cloudy skies as well. Temperatures really in towards the mid to upper 50s for our overnight lows. But the reason for this next weather pattern change is all due to this low pressure system over the Pacific Ocean tracking its way further off towards the east. It's first going to bring the threat for the chance for some severe thunderstorms, mainly from the Cascades to the east, where we could see the potential for some afternoon thunderstorms to crop up. But as that low pressure system continues to track its way further off towards the east, a little bit more moisture gets pulled into it. The instability becomes a little bit more stable, and that's where we see just the increase in the rain chances for our Saturday morning and into our afternoon hours. But for tomorrow, when you wake up, head out the door, head off to work, mostly cloudy conditions for western Oregon. That will be a trend that we need to get used to for the next 2 days or so. But you'll notice the timestamp right around 2 p.m. or so. That's when we start to see some of those thunderstorms develop over the Cascades. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 of those cells dips down over the foothills and into the valleys. So that is something that we will be watching closely here on NBC 16 to make sure that you stay safe, and you need to stay weather aware. But thunderstorms really going to diminish after sunset. Then we're just going to be left with the rain chances into our Saturday. So some nice soaking rains just around the corner for us. But the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk for severe weather in the yellow for central regions of our states. That's about a 2 out of 5 chance to see severe thunderstorms. But as far as the rainfall amounts go, nothing quite to write home about. Maybe a ½ an inch is going to be the most that we see, but temperatures are going to be on the mild side tomorrow yet again. But for the Eugene Springfield area, that's where we still have that weather warned day for tomorrow. And again, that just means that severe weather's potential, so you need to stay weather aware. Then a 60% chance for those rain showers on your Saturday. Sunshine returns and temperatures back into the upper 80s just as summer returns. But out towards the coast, rainy conditions for your Friday and into your Saturday. The sunshine returns with temperatures still above average. We should be right around 65 degrees out towards the coast for this time of year. And again, that weather warned day for your Friday with the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms a possibility. Sunshine returns and then temperatures back to the 90s, Alexis.
Yes, and you know, I don't even mind the 90s. I know like that's like dire for some people out here, but I get these calls
it's
saying
summertime.
It's summer, right? You just have to embrace it it as a day to go out swimming and just have a good time. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Josh.
Absolutely.
And coming up next on NBC 16 at 6:30, East Primary School in Sutherland has a new principal. We have a formal introduction of her right back when we get back.
Exactly. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
16 News at 6:30.
East Primary School in Sutherland has a new principal, and she's ready to get the school year started. NBC 16's Gabby Yorinda reports.
It may seem quiet at East Primary School in Sutherland, but inside, Becky Lupton is getting ready to start off the year as the school's newest principal.
Seeing the kids, the excitement of the kids and starting the new school year, and just yeah, being here in Sutherland and being part of the team.
Lupton was a teacher in Florence for 9 years before becoming the principal of Highland Elementary in Reedsport. She says it's important to get to know the community first.
Making sure you build those relationships and you don't come in and try to change everything right away, or maybe there isn't a lot of change that needs to happen. So just kind of getting your feet wet.
As for the district reconfiguring grades from East Primary to West Intermediate School,
it seems to be working out well, and we're on board for everybody to be in the right classroom on the first day here. So
Lupton wants parents or students to drop by our office anytime so they can see a familiar face on the first day of school. Covering Douglas County for you, I'm Gabby Arenda.
The next hopeful generation of veterinarians spent the week trying out some of the latest animal medicines. It was all part of a week-long program through OSU's Carlson College of Veterinary Medicine. 26 academically talented high school students from all over the state were able to try animal medicine such as horse acupuncture, ultrasounds, and dissections.
I didn't know it was so advanced, and then a lot of it is what we see in humans, but a lot of it's past that. A lot of it is you wouldn't even realize how advanced it was until you actually had first-hand experience with it.
Visit our website at NBC16.com as we take a look at how veterinary medicine is evolving and what's next for the industry. Coming up next on NBC 16 at 6:30, you might expect to see a real duck in a river, but not thousands of rubber duckies. We'll tell you what's going on in the Chicago River when we return.
From the Couldn't Be Prouders.
Fantastic way to help a good cause. The 14th annual Duck Derby floated off on the Chicago River today. Thousands of yellow rubber ducks were dumped into the river for the race benefiting Special Olympics. Each duck was adopted for $5, and the winners will take home cool prizes like a car, vacations, and sporting events tickets. Special Olympics Illinois sold about 63,000 rubber ducks for the fundraiser. Oh my goodness.
That's a lot of rubber ducks.
And it seems like so much fun. I would just love to see that in real life. Just see all the rubber ducks and not a real duck around.
And a good cause.
And a great cause, absolutely. And thank you for watching NBC 16 News at 6:30. We'll see you tonight for NBC 16 News at 11.